So this is what I learned in my marriage with Bonnie. And I talk about her in present time, but she passed a few years ago and she's still in my heart. And so much of what I learned from her and our relationship in Men Are From Mars and Beyond Mars and Venus. So I come home and she would complain to me at one point in the marriage, the kids don't listen to her. They always listen to what I say. And so I thought about that and I thought, okay, let me be a role model of someone who can listen to her. And I looked at where am I not showing respect for her? Because she was at one stage, she was doing most of the cooking. So she was cooking meals and she'd say, okay, dinner's ready, come to dinner. And I'd be on the computer and I'd just sit there, continue on and say, I'll be in a little while. And then the kids would go in. So, and another thing I used to do was I'd come home, I have these little children, they just run at you. They love you so much. Daddy's home. Finally, somebody else is here other than mom, it's this new, exciting, even though you don't do anything, but it's just like they run in my arms. They're so happy to see me and I'd play with them, whatever. And Bonnie would be busy making dinner. Okay. So I thought, let me make two changes. Okay. When she said dinner's ready, I said, let's get up. Get in there right away. And I'd get up no matter what I was doing. In an instant, I would go in and have dinner. And the kids saw when mom asked for something, dad jumps. And when I would come home, always the first thing the kids would come at me. And after a few weeks of training, they'd say, mom's here, mom's there, mom's not here. Because they knew the first question out of my mouth was going to be, where's mom? And before, they could jump on me and whatever, but I would go right to her and give her a big hug. And they would see mom's number one. And, that's an example of something that we're not aware of, is that how much more women need. And I know you're into want and you can want it, but actually deep inside, you have an emotional need to feel respected, to feel number one, to feel honored, to feel understood, to feel that somebody cares about what you're going through. And because when someone treats you that way, and you want them to treat you that way, and all of our wants, ultimately, the healthy wants, come from a true need inside. That's that need for emotional fulfillment. And by providing that little change, the kids started listening to her more. They just needed an example of that. And of course, she was happier. I saw the change. My wife's happier. And I started realizing another little thing about, the little things make a big difference, is if she asked me to do something and it was something I could do within it was like a 5-minute rule. If I could do it within a period of 5 minutes, I would stop whatever I'm doing and just jump and do it. If she said, the lawn needs to be mowed, I say, I'll get to it on Saturday, I'll get to it next week. But because for me, mathematically, I get 1 point for anything I do. I give her a hug, I get a point in terms of an estrogen point. If I come home and find her first, I get a hug. I give her a hug. That's a point. I found her first. That's a hug. I offer to help her in some way. That's a point. I noticed you got your hair cut. That's a point. I see her. I hear her. She's talking to me. I say to her, well, help me understand that better, honey. Tell me more. Tell me more. That's a point. And every time I get to say it, that's another point. Because see, just like, I can look at how many likes I get, you want more. We all want more. Everybody accepts it. In terms of our work world, it's okay to want more and more and more. But in relationships, often we men don't have the correct attitude. It's okay for her to want more. It's okay but you have to just not get upset with her when she's upset, and then she'll want more and she can still be she'll still be happy with what she has. And that's kind of like a lesson on a higher emotional, when you're in touch with your emotional needs and you're starting to get them fulfilled, then you develop something called delayed gratification. You trust that I can get what I need. I don't have to have it now. And that's our higher brain function that we can exercise in our relationships.
Yeah. I love all those examples that you gave, because really what they are examples of what you talked about earlier, which is doing more small things all the time. And I've never really thought about it exactly in the terms that you put it, but I'm pretty much the same way. If she asks me to do something for her, if I can do it quickly and relatively effortlessly, I will do it right away. And it's only the bigger things that I'll put off later. And I don't think a lot of men realize just how important all those little things are.
It's the feel I get a response. The response is, you heard her and you're going to take action. There's something about men who take action. Emergency man to the rescue. There's a hormonal response to it. You see, this goes below the conscious mind, before the logical mind. We should think, well, look, I'm only doing a little thing. It should only get a little response. I give you 50 roses. I should get 50 points. No, you get 1 point of estrogen. It will go up. It's great. That's wonderful. And it comes back down. You get 1 point every time. One rose, one compliment, one attention. For me, it became a logical thing to give her 4 hugs a day. Every time you hug a woman for 6 to 10 seconds, she's going to get a surge of estrogen. That's a point. So I find her, that's respecting her, honoring her. She's number one. This is little things that we can learn that, generally speaking, when people say, how do you bring back the love? What did you do in the beginning when you felt that? And often you were exercising her being more on the female side, him being more on the male side. And that's where romance comes. That's that polarity.
If you've enjoyed this clip and want to listen to the full episode, go to the Love Lab podcast, episode 156, How to Cope with Stress in Relationship.